And I think I've used this analogy with you before. I mean, in 2015, a lot of voters were prepared to give up the bland, solid accountant that they had been with for 10 years in favor of the sharp-looking pool boy who offered a little bit of zing in the life.
Yeah.
And now they've awakened to the fact that the pool boy's routing through their purse looking for money for weed.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a perfect analogy. Oh my God! You know what? Please forgive me. I'm going to steal that analogy, Lorne. I'll give you credit, but it's too good. I got to use that. It's exactly what he is. Let me say one more thing about the imposter. It's not just a general imposter that he was a sweet-talking hustler like the pool boy you described, but he was a huckster. He said he was a feminist, and we've learned so much about how he actually treats women. He said he was for Aboriginal reconciliation, but holy moly, look at him treat the Grassy Narrows protesters. He said he was for democratic reform and cleaner government, but whoa, this SNC. So he actually, it's not just that he's a pickup artist. Whenever I hear, he slips into a voice, and he talks like this, and Canadians can do better. Like he puts on this voice, and I just can't stop thinking about him as one of those, you know, using your pool boy in metaphor, a pickup artist who teaches other guys how to manipulate women to go out with them. I get this pickup artist vibe from him. It's not just a style, it's a substance too. The guy who said he would have the most clean and transparent and accountable government did none of that. The guy who railed against Harper's partisanship, look at how he stacked the Senate. So it's amazing, but let me ask you the big question. That disapproval number is staggeringly large, 63%. You would almost think that would disqualify a guy from winning mathematically. But I thought I heard you say you think he's going to squeak it out.
I do, because I think in the areas of the country that have the largest numbers of votes, at the very last, too many voters are going to say that Andrew Scheer just doesn't impress me.
Yeah.
Like I think the Conservatives have a great new slogan. Paraphrasing it, it's time you got your share, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that the message in the ads is clearly laid out and it's smart. I love the ad that he had where he walked through his old neighborhood in Regina and he said, I know what it's like for people who live in a neighborhood like this, because this is the house I grew up in. And it's a row house in a low income area of Regina. That's great. But when you look at him, I don't know, would you hire him to do the landscaping at your house, or would you like him to be the prime minister? Yeah. He just lacks something that I think an awful lot of people, increasingly voters don't pay attention to elections until the last 72 hours.
Yeah.
And I think when they tune in 72 hours before October 21st, they're going to just say, yeah, I don't like the Trudeau guy, but that Scheer guy is not my alternative. So they'll cast a grudging vote for Trudeau.
Yeah. Oh, and we have not even begun to see not only the Liberal war machine, but the 100 third-party super PAC groups. We saw a little bit of Maxime Bernier's super PAC action the other day that got a little bit of media buzz. Good for him for stealing some headlines in August. But whoa, in October, you are going to have such deep Scheer bashing. I think it'll be the dirtiest election in Canadian history.
I think you're absolutely right. And I saw the Unifor ads yesterday during U.S. Open tennis I was watching. And it's a guy, a working class guy, goes to a vending machine and gets ripped off. And, the message is, what if we elect Scheer, that's what's going to happen to working class Canadians. It's just the level of vitriol towards Scheer is staggering. I could kind of understand it towards Harper, because Harper was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Like he was an intellectual and he was ruthless with opponents. Scheer's not a ruthless guy. Like he's a nice enough guy, and yet the animus towards him is unbelievable. It's worse than it was towards Harper.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.